Hello, and welcome to Business Focus, produced by the Greater Reston Chamber of Commerce. My name is Angela Inzerillo with Impact Business Solutions, and I'm privileged to be your host as we highlight the great work our local businesses are doing. And what a great show we have in store for you this fabulous November. When did we get here so quickly? First up, the lovely Carrie Willmon, the Marketing and Communications Manager over at the Greater Reston Chamber of Commerce, here to talk about their upcoming holiday celebration, Jingle Mingle. Very exciting times. Next, we have this pleasure of speaking with Meredith, Hovan, and Roberta Gosling, representing Cornerstones, sharing what they're doing to impact the community with their three pillars of shelter, food, and childcare. And last but certainly not least, to round out this fabulous list of guests, Mr. Brett Ludeke with DNAFILMCO, here today to talk about how he works with his clients to evoke emotion and make impactful videos. Let's go meet them. So please welcome my first guest, the lovely Carrie Willmon, the Marketing and Communications Manager over at the Greater Reston Chamber of Commerce, here to talk to us today about our upcoming holiday celebration, the Jingle Mingle. Carrie, welcome.
Thank you. It's good to be back. It's been
that's right.
September. I knew I'd be, making another appearance at some point. So here I am.
I know. Anytime we have an event coming up at the chamber, they're like, Carrie, she'll be on Julie. Well, look at
these happen, but I'm okay with it.
Yeah, it's perfect. And I love the tree in the background and your tartan plaid for Christmas. So yeah, we're getting in the spirit.
I'm ready.
I'm ready as
for
well.
The holidays, and I was testing out my the lights on the tree. I'm maybe decorating a little earlier this year, and I thought, well, this would be just the perfect, ideal background to talk about Jingle Mingle.
100%. Yeah, we had a good committee meeting last week. And so, for those of you that don't know, what is Jingle Mingle?
Jingle Mingle is our end of the year holiday celebration. It's kind of our replacement of network night that we have throughout the rest of the year, but this one is a lot more elevated, a little bit more elegant if you want it to be.
A lot more. Yeah.
But it's just a good evening to let your hair down and have a good time and play some casino games, drink some cocktails, and just have a lot of fun. Cheers to the new year too.
Especially people have worked hard. We deserve this, right? Hanging out with, every time I go, I always see people I haven't seen in a long time, right? So it's great to kind of reconnect and then, again, like you just said, kind of have a cocktail and celebrate. So it was formerly Tinselentinis, but it has been renamed to Jingle Mingle a couple of years ago. So we are partnering up again with the Reston Community Center.
That's correct.
Where, when, how, why, all those details.
So Thursday, December 7th at Reston Community Center off of Colts Neck Road. Nice. We're so excited to be back with them again this year. They are just excellent hosts, and they're a great community partner as well. So continuing that partnership throughout the holidays is it's exciting. Yeah, like you said, our planning committee met there earlier this week, and I'm so excited. It's gonna be so good.
Well, they have this great big space, right? When you walk in, and it's just you can do so much with it. So much with it. The casino games. We're looking at blackjack, craps, and roulette, and some fun photo opportunities, and maybe a winter wonderland kind of theme that we're going for. Yeah, so I love it. White, silver, crystal-y kind of look. It's always great to get in the spirit. So is Samantha coming back? Our Studio 151?
Yes, she is.
Awesome.
She's going to be back taking photos. I mean, she's fabulous throughout the whole year, taking photos for Nut Night and other events. So we're excited to have her back.
Yeah, she and Jason are always there doing great. Oh, well, good. Yeah, I'm excited for the casino games, the special drinks. Obviously, we're going to have the winter theme. The people just love, again, to reconnect. So I don't know. Every time I go, it's not really designed specifically, but we always tend to get teams there, right? Who typically attends, and who's amongst the crowd there enjoying?
Yeah. So definitely our members. You know, like I said, it's kind of like our net night for December, but definitely our members and just the business community at large. And, you know, maybe there's, you know, some people that are just too busy in the holidays that they don't have time to plan an office party. Come to us.
Yes.
Come our way. We're happy to be a part of that end of year celebration for you and your staff, and even clients if you want to treat them to a special evening. It's the perfect event for that. It really is.
Yeah, client appreciation, hanging with your team, and kind of, you know, like I said, celebrating together and reconnecting with the community, reconnecting with members. I love seeing some old faces. Love getting dressed up because it's just different. It's not net night. It's different. I got heels on, right?
Exactly. We're really encouraging festive attire. So if that means black tie for you, go all out.
Yeah.
If that means a tacky Christmas sweater, you know, if you want to wear reindeer antlers or a Santa hat, like however you see fit to get into the holiday spirit, do as you
say, you be you, right? That's my latest
I'm wearing plaid. I'm very much in plaid.
Perfect.
This season.
So I do know, so it's great because it's a little bit earlier. It's that first week in December. A lot of people have later parties. So this could kind of be one of your first to attend. Who knows? If you got a party the same night, I mean, we'll still be there. I know we'll be there.
Exactly. Yeah.
We always are. But certainly come out and join us. Are there any sponsorship opportunities, or how do you buy tickets?
Yeah, so on our website, restonchamber.org, we have, you know, our registration page up, and there are sponsorships still available. So if you want to sponsor any of the casino tables, or just, you know, something else that's available, there's a whole sponsorship document that you can click the link. And so, yeah, if you have questions, contact information is on that page as well. But of course, reach out to me anytime, and I'm happy to help.
Well, fantastic. Carrie, fabulous seeing you as always. Thank you for being here and sharing about this fun event at the end of the year celebration. Yeah,
well, it's always a pleasure to see you and get to chat with you. So this is
my pleasure. All right, my dear. I'll see you soon.
All right.
Bye. Bye-bye. So please welcome my next guest, the lovely Meredith Hovan, our VP of Resource Development with Cornerstones, and the lovely Roberta Gosling, the chairman of the board for Cornerstones. Ladies, welcome to the show.
Thank you,
Angela.
It's great to see you as always. I can't believe we haven't had Cornerstones on in so long. This is perfect timing, especially coming off that fabulous gala.
Well, we're very excited to be here.
Oh, good. It's great to see you. So before we get started and talking a little bit more about the organization, I always love to hear what brought you guys here to Cornerstone. So why don't we start with Meredith?
Great. Well, thanks again, Angela. We're so grateful that we have this opportunity to chat with you. I'm actually a boomerang for Cornerstones. I worked with Cornerstones when it was Reston Interfaith about 15 years ago. It was sort of my second chance at nonprofit work. And I have been in sort of the housing and human services space for almost 20 years now. So I was with Reston Interfaith when I ran Best of Reston, Capital Steps, their golf tournament, and all of their client drives as well. And I had the opportunity to come back about 3 years ago to be part of the fundraising work again and helping to run events, client drives, volunteer management, and the like. Prior to being here, I was in the mental health space for 10 years doing fundraising for a local organization with suicide prevention and mental health supports. But I'm just so grateful and excited to be back with Cornerstones and the exciting future that this organization is looking at.
Well, thank you. And we're excited to have you also as part of the Reston Chamber board. So thank you for being a great board member. Speaking of great board members, Ms. Roberta.
Wow. So I've been a Reston resident for over 3 decades. And when I moved to Reston, I heard immediately about Reston Interfaith, I was so impressed with the mission of Reston Interfaith. And I didn't get involved right away. But I had been involved in several social service organizations, which is my jam. I really like working in the community. I like working with people. And I worked with Carrie years ago on the Cornerstone strategic plan. And she said to me, "How come you're not on our board, Roberta?" And so when I had the opportunity, I jumped at it and asked Carrie about participating more actively with Cornerstones, and we haven't turned back since.
Yeah, I heard you're a lifer. So yeah, but we won't talk about that. So
I don't
yeah,
think
why
that.
don't we talk a little bit then more about the mission and the vision? So kind of continue on that thread.
Yeah, so I mean, part of the thing that I really love about Cornerstones are 3 words that we like to use: stability, empowerment, and hope. So the idea is really we are looking to make sure that we have an equitable, connected community where all individuals and families can thrive. And so what does that look like? What that looks like is having a place to live. It looks like being able to have food on the table, and it looks like being able to take care of your family and your children. And we do that through, if you think about affordable housing, all the way from something that everybody's heard of, which is the Embry-Rucker homeless shelter, all the way through to providing, being able to place people right in a home where they can live and thrive with their family. And then on the food front, we have a food pantry, and we'll talk a little bit more later, I think, about what we've got going on that front, which is very exciting. And then finally, for children, we've got the Laurel Learning Center where we provide affordable daycare. So we really try to run the whole gamut.
Yeah, shelter, food, childcare. I mean, those are the 3 buckets, right? So I love what you guys are doing and making an impact in the community. So can you talk a little bit more about the services? Can you dive a little bit more deeper, maybe, Meredith?
Sure. So yeah, as Roberta said, we're very well known for the Embry-Rucker Community Shelter, which really meets individuals as well as families in some of their most difficult moments, their crisis moments. But that's not where Cornerstone stops. And what we really look at is that continuum of care. So identifying, what the resources are for the moment of crisis, but then what the resources long term are that provide that stability and that self-sustaining opportunity in our community. So that may mean piecing together, how do I get the next meal on my table? Where do I send my children when I'm going to work? And where's an affordable opportunity to do that? So, we see that with just a family that we worked with that moved out of the shelter, and they were able to move into affordable housing, but it turns out the father of the family had health issues. So then it's identifying what are the health resources needed to ensure that those health expenses don't interrupt the rent now that this family is paying. And that might mean visiting our pantry so that food is not the expense that they have to endure in addition to medical expenses. So it's really meeting them with all the resources that allow self-sufficiency long term.
Well, I think you guys are doing great things long term, like you said, in the short term, but you've been very consistent on your programming. And I think if we could share a little bit more, I know you do things on a regular basis, plus you have your big gala that we just talked about. And then I know it's going to be expanded into next year. So what do we want to highlight for this year, since Roberta touched on it? The event that's coming up, here in November.
Roberta, why don't you mention a little bit about the Food Hub?
Sure. Well, we're very excited. I think if you're looking, kind of forward thinking, one of the things that we really like to be able to do is bring a lot of resources together across the community. So we recently opened up and will be having our ribbon cutting on November 20th of a food hub. It's really like, if you think about a food warehouse where we can collect a lot of the food from across the community that is might be wasted or may be shipped to other parts of the county. We're be able to collect that here, and our local food pantries are going to be able to access that food. So on November 20th, we're going to be there with big scissors and hard hats to welcome a 10,000 square foot warehouse and another 4,000 square feet where we'll be able to have community building and other events for our community members, and we are so excited.
That's awesome. How long has Cornerstones been in existence? You said it earlier.
53 years.
3 years. So this is fabulous. And I think I had asked you too, the other events that go on throughout the year is also something that you could.
So oftentimes folks are familiar with Cornerstones from our client drives. So we do those seasonally, from collecting backpacks for families to prepare kids for school. We're in the thick of our Thanksgiving food drive and making sure that there's food on the table at Thanksgiving, gift cards for kids during the holidays. And then looking forward to the fall of 2024 will be Cornerstone's annual signature event, Cornerstones of Our Community. So stay tuned for more details, but it'll be in the fall of 2024.
Love it. Love it. Well, as we wrap up with a few more seconds, what is the best way for those watching to get involved and learn more and help support your wonderful organization?
Sure. Our website is cornerstonesva.org. You can find us on all the social media platforms at Cornerstones VA as well.
Cornerstones, more than one stone, as we say, va.org. Fabulous. Ladies, always great to see you. Thank you for being on the show and sharing your stories. And I look forward to seeing you soon, especially at that ribbon cutting.
Thanks, Angela.
Thank you.
So please welcome my next guest, the creative director and founder of DNAFILMCO, Mr. Brett Ludeke. Right? Ludeke?
Thank you. Yeah, you got it. You got it. Good job. I know it's tricky. It's tricky.
Brett, welcome. Good to see you today. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, one of our newest members of the chamber, someone who jumps right in, is already on our marketing committee, is been to several events, and I'm like, I need to get him on the show. So glad that you can join us today. So I'd love to share a little quick before we get into more about your business and who you help and what you do. How did you start your business? I'm sure you have a very creative background. So how did you start DNAFILMCO?
Yeah. So I started out as a commercial photographer.
Okay.
Then went into work for an ad agency for a bit and got a whole different perspective on the account management and creative services side, and which was great. And I went back to a freelance photographer, but also at that point a commercial director and DP, a director of photography for the film side. And when I was working as a freelance director, like scope creep ended up happening, where I would get called in to do a project, and they would be like, hey, who do you want to work with on this? And it's like, do you want to hire them or do you want us to? And then it was like, hey, can you do the schedule for us? Can you do the storyboarding and talk to the clients on their daily meetings? And I was like, man, like I'm really doing a lot here, and I'm doing the only thing I really feel like I'm not involved with at this point is just the business development side of this. And so I was like, maybe I should just start my own production studio, and when my clients come to me, I can just be like, hey, like I will take out all the production. You guys can just oversee it, but just like I can take it and I'll make it easy for you guys.
Yeah, the last thing people, we don't know. We as business owners, we need you to help us, kind of like you said, kind of from the beginning to the end. Yeah, so let's go into like your services. What do you mostly service on? I always like to say, like with video, do you like to video cats or birthday parties or business? What's your video? What do you specialize in from a service perspective?
Yeah, for we do the full production, so from like concept to final delivery, and everything in between. Storyboarding, scripting, scouting, filming, everything in post, which is editing, color, sound design, mixing, animating. We have a studio where we can film in. We invested in all the same equipment and cameras that every major motion picture is using. So when you're watching something on Netflix, it's like we're using the same camera equipment. We wanted that standard to be high for us. So that was a huge investment, but we made the decision to invest in that. And when it comes to, I guess, the industry that we work in, we're industry agnostic and can work in any industry and help any company out, whether it be a enterprise company or, what I like to call like a smaller brand, or even like the small mom and pop brand or company. Nonprofits are great for us. It's great telling like not the stories of nonprofits and, who they're helping and how they're helping. And, we can speak to the people that they're helping instead of having, their leadership tell the story, which isn't as emotional. I
That's a
tell people
great
that's why
point. That's a great
yeah.
point because video is all about emotion and storytelling, right? So what you say? You say you tell people what?
Yeah, oh yeah. I tell people the Sarah McLachlan SPCA commercial with the sad song and all the
Yeah.
animals in the cages looking sad and everything. That wouldn't be effective if it was like the SPCA CEO
Yeah.
telling the story. It's effective because you see the results, right? Or you see what's happening right there, and it's
Oh
sad,
yeah.
and it
We always say evoking
motivates you
emotion.
to yeah, and it just motivates you to donate or whatever the call to action is, and
Yeah,
you know
100%.
um, yeah, and working with nonprofits, I mean, it's easy to just to have the person that's being affected and the person that's getting the support, the in person, on camera and just being like, hey, my life would be drastically different if it wasn't for this organization helping me out. That moves people, and that gets people to donate. It gets people to volunteer. It gets helps raise sponsorships. So
Yeah. Yeah.
uh, we're great with nonprofits.
I'd imagine too that people don't know what because they're so close to it, that you can help pull them back and see the story. So I don't know, off cuff, like, could you share one of your favorite stories about a client?
Yeah, and you're absolutely right by that. Most companies, they come to us with like what they think is their best story, and they want to tell that and everything. And a lot of times it's great, and we do that. But sometimes I think companies are just so in the weeds of their own business that they sort of forget and don't even realize like what maybe the best story is that they are doing. And we work with this great company. We love them, called 643. It's a girls softball training center that's located in Ashburn, and they came to us originally. They were talking. They were starting their sponsorship or their
Franchise?
not sponsorship, their
Franchise.
franchise.
Yeah.
Yes, franchise journey, and they wanted to just show how great their business is and how great softball is and how much it's growing as a support as a sport.
Yeah.
Um, and I was there filming, and I was talking to a few of the parents that were there with their daughters, and they told me that they were like, we love this company so much. And I was like, wow, that's like such a strong statement to say. Like, I was like, what is it that you love so much? And they told me that their bond has grown so much with their daughter
Mhm.
because of 643. And so I was like, wow,
Yeah.
that's really amazing. And so I went to the owner and I was like, why aren't we telling this
His
story?
story.
And yeah, and so they were like, what, that's a good question. Let's tell it. And and so we pulled the family in and interviewed them, daughter and father, and
Yeah.
we made a video that just focused on their bond and how it grew with 643. And it's one of
Oh,
their favorite videos that we've done, and it's one of our favorite
I can
videos. It's in our
imagine the
portfolio. We love
emotion.
it.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's so good.
Hmm.
And
Yeah. And
they're talking to their audience. They're talking to the people who are going to make that decision to either buy a franchise or whatever the purpose of the video was, right? To
yeah,
and
and what's great about that story is it's a benefit that most people would not have realized. We didn't even realize it until we got there and started talking to members that were there for a year. And it's the more I thought about it, I was like, man, like there's families out there that would probably pay way more to get this value.
yeah.
And it was something that we didn't even realize was a value until we were talking to these families. And just hearing like a father just be like, hey, this is our time with our daughters, and our mother, it's like we just come here and we work with their daughters. It's something they enjoy, and it's just our time to talk and bond.
Yeah.
Our relationships wouldn't be as strong as they are if it wasn't for 643. And I was just like, wow, that's a huge value that a potential customer wouldn't
Right.
realize.
Feel. Yeah. And I will say this is
They wouldn't know
something
that.
that, the company, most companies, you can't capture on your iPhone. So yes, you are working professionally, from, like you said, behind the scenes, identifying the story, doing the storyboarding. I mean, the film part, I don't know. I feel like that's some semantics at some point. Yes, you're going to do a wonderful, beautiful job putting it all together, but kind of the prep work is probably takes most of your time, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I mean, you can be the best cinematographer, you can have the best lighting crew, you can make things as cool and as cinematic and movie like as possible. But if you don't have a good story, it's not going to resonate with people. And the exact opposite is true too. It's like you can tell the best story and not be fancy at all. So,
Yeah.
it's just like we invested a lot in our camera equipment, and I don't regret that at all. But at the same time, though, it was like that was something we just did because we wanted to make sure that our stuff looked the best. But it's not. We didn't have to have that. Especially in a post-COVID world, we got really used to user-generated content. Like even I was filming major productions with iPhones because that's what their clients wanted at that time. They wanted this user-generated feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, we saw some of the biggest brands like Coca-Cola, Apple, Google, like all have user-generated content, and it worked and it was emotional.
Yeah, they also have the brand. That helps a little bit.
Yeah, and they have, it's like it might feel user-generated, but there's a whole production team behind it too.
Oh yeah. Well, Brett, listen, with just a few seconds that we have left, how could people get in touch with you, learn more about what you do? I guess we'll just scroll your website. Is that the best way? Or LinkedIn, I think you said, right?
Yeah. Website or LinkedIn. Like, yeah, love connecting with people on LinkedIn.
Okay, great. Well, it was great to have you on the show. Great learning more about you. And I'll definitely be seeing you around the chamber. And I look forward to seeing you soon.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Well, there you have it. Another fabulous business focus produced by the Greater Reston Chamber of Commerce. Thank you to my great guests that stopped by today. Lovely seeing the lovely Carrie Willmon from the Reston Chamber, and how exciting it is for Jingle Mingle. The holidays are upon us. So I hope to see you at Jingle Mingle over at Reston Community Summer. And then, of course, Meredith and Roberta from Cornerstones. Love hearing their story. They do so much for the community. So thank you for stopping by and talking about all that you guys are doing in your upcoming ribbon cutting. Very exciting. And then last but not least, who doesn't love Brett? Brett, it was great seeing you. We like to call him Kelsey, if you guys know. Kansas City. He looks a little bit like him. Anyway, he's not dating Taylor Swift, but he does have a great video company. And I hope you all get to meet him soon. I look forward to seeing you next time.